What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Old. So Old is a bit of an older film that came out this past year in 2021, and I missed out on seeing it in theaters. I did see a lot of the discussion around the film, but I didn't want to dive into any of the spoilers since I hadn't seen the film, and anybody knows that a film directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan is going to usually have some sort of twist ending that either completely shocks the audience or recontextualizes everything we've just seen in the last 2 hours of the runtime of the film. And so Old is actually a movie I just watched maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I had some notes written down for it, and I just kind of wanted to give myself a little bit of time to think about what I thought on this movie, since it's not a new release and I didn't have that immediate rush to record a video and get it out for you guys. A lot of you are probably wondering why I'm even reviewing this at this point, but if you've been watching the channel, you know that I love reviewing older films, even if it's just from the previous year or much older films. And to be completely and utterly honest, the biggest motivating factor is the fact that back in Christmas, actually, my sister actually gifted me the Blu-ray for this movie, and pretty much at least a couple times a month has asked me, where is my Old review? So here we are, Mick, my sister. Yeah, let's do this. Let's get into my thoughts on Old. So as I mentioned, this film is written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars people like Gael Garcia Bernal, Vicky Krieps, I believe is how you pronounce her name, Rufus Sewell, Alex Wolff, Thomasin McKenzie, Abby Lee, Ken Leung, Nikki Amuka-Bird, Eliza Scanlen, and Aaron Pierre. And yeah, this is a film that overall, when I first saw the previews for it, I was really intrigued to see where it would go. There was something about the premise that was really cool to me, and I'm happy to say that I thought the premise overall throughout the course of the film was consistently engaging, had a big layer of mystery that constantly kept me on board, and while I was watching the film, I was very rarely bored. There was a period of time near the end of the film where I do think the movie kind of loses its way, and I am going to get into spoilers since the film has been out for a little bit, but for this earlier part of the review, I do want to say that I found this film to be really intriguing and engaging throughout. I think this is a movie that is either going to work for people or not work for people based on the ending, and a part of the ending I enjoyed, a part of the ending I didn't enjoy, but overall the journey was really interesting. I love the idea of this location that ages you, and for anybody who doesn't know what this movie is all about, it centers on a group of people, different groups of individuals who are all on a vacation, who all go to one location that they hear about from the resort that they're staying at. It's going to be this nice private beach, and when they get there, things start to get a little strange. They start to black out anytime they try to leave this beach, and over the course of time, they start to realize that they're all aging rapidly. And that premise in and of itself I thought was so cool. You're stuck on this beach, you pass out anytime you try to leave, and you're aging very rapidly. And a couple of the families that come here actually have children. So over the course of the film, they go from having young children to having teenagers and then adults. And it's this huge jarring experience for them as the adults, start to age, things start to not work for them. They start to kind of lose their mind a little bit, and it becomes a really interesting and different premise as the movie progresses. Now, this is where I'm just going to jump straight into my spoilers since this movie has been out for a little bit. And if you don't want to hear spoilers for this movie, go ahead and click away. But if you don't care, stick around, because the end of this movie, we end up finding out that M. Night Shyamalan himself, who plays a character in this movie and actually drove the individuals to this location from the resort, it turns out that he was watching over them the entire time from afar, actually doing research, and that he is part of a medical group that actually takes individuals who have various ailments to this beach so that it can speed up the process. What they don't know though is that they were actually given some sort of medical cocktail in a drink at the resort before going in, and they specifically chose different individuals with various medical ailments so that they can actually see if their medication worked and how it worked in a sped up process, so that they can then take that data and actually apply that to their medicine and actually start creating cures for these, different individual medical ailments. So everybody who goes to this beach in a lot of ways is just a guinea pig for them, and they're waiting to see them die. The question is, will the medicine actually heal their ailment, or will they actually just end up dying on this beach? How quick, how slow, and what kind of data can they take from that to add to the next cure that they make for the next batch of guinea pigs that they end up bringing in there? And yeah, we have two of our characters that end up escaping at the very end, and that premise in and of itself is kind of interesting, right? Like there was something about that that I thought was really cool. But I think the way that it's presented in the movie when you're watching it leading up to the final moments can make you think that's it, that's what this movie is all really about, because the premise of this mystical location, this fantastical location that ages you, in and of itself is way cooler than the concept of using that to create medicine. With that said, the ending is very M. Night Shyamalan ding dong, and I think that in a lot of ways this film was really well written, and in a lot of ways I feel like this movie is going to work for some and not work for others, but that's just kind of the nature of M. Night movies. So how do I feel about this movie? Overall, I found it to be a really well acted film with a really solid premise, with a lot of intrigue and mystery throughout the course of the premise. I found the film to also be very, very well shot. There are a lot of tracking shots where we have various individuals running around the beach, a lot of times the kids, and the camera is moving with them very fluidly, and I found that to be really, really solid. So the cinematography for me was really great. I also enjoyed the score throughout, and I really enjoyed the location and the setting. The performances are really what keep this movie grounded as well and keep you engaged and keep it believable. But I will say near the end of the film, it feels like it starts to lose its way a little bit as they're just kind of trying to kill off all these individuals over the course of time, leading us up to our last two. A lot of the characters in this film are throwaway characters, but again, it's more about the journey throughout, and even though a lot of these characters were a little hollow to me, I do find that the overall intrigue and mystery that these characters were wrapped in kept me engaged. I was actually really interested to see where it was going to go. And beyond the fact that this, has to do with medicine and all that jazz, I think this movie does also have a pretty good theme and message that, specifically the parents of our main characters, really realize near the end of their time on this beach, which is life is short. And I think that this movie definitely leans into the idea that life is short, and you have this mom and this dad who were gonna get a separation, they were moving towards a divorce, their relationship wasn't in the best place, but now as they're aging together on this beach and actually growing old together, they recognize that they don't really want that anymore, and they just kind of want to enjoy their final moments together. And so I think ultimately this is a movie about the fact that life is short, and sometimes you just gotta really just hone in on the moment and enjoy the time you have with those around you, because it's gonna go by pretty quick. So that's gonna be my thoughts on Old. I liked a lot about it. I think there's a lot about this movie that works. The ending is depends on how you catch me. It depends on the day, right? Depends on what day it is and whether or not I enjoy that ending or not. But overall, I found the film to be really mysterious and intriguing up to the ending, so I can't lie and say I wasn't enjoying the film throughout, because I was genuinely intrigued, and there is so much about the filmmaking element of things that I did really enjoy. But I can see this movie working for a lot of people and not working for a lot of people. So this is not a film I can give a flat out recommendation for and say, yep, you'll absolutely love it, because I think it's really going to depend on the individual. But I did like a lot about it, so take that as you will. That's gonna be my thoughts. A big thanks to you guys for watching. Hit that like button, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos. Thank you to my sister Mickey for sending me or buying me a Blu-ray copy of this movie, and I finally did the review.